welcome to MTA. Should be 54 today, okay? We've been pre-recording a lot, you know that already, and yeah, so it's not really in order that we're recording it, but for you it should all be nice and in order. So, welcome back to MTA, thanks for tuning in again, first of all. Necros is still here.
Hello.
Yeah. And he wants to listen to the gold tips, which aren't even all that crazy. I just listed what I do to get gold, and that was requested, and I made a video about that on my German channel. So either you go learn German real quick and go to the German channel, it's Mosen Lel on YouTube, or you just listen here, and I'll make that in English as well. But I always gotta, reproduce for one channel, and then I take the footage from there and have to put a new sound sound recording below that, because usually I realized when I did the some videos, when I did them for the English channel first, German is just way longer. So recording it in German makes more sense for a start, because then you have more space, right, and you can always take something away. But if it's too short, you just try to squeeze in really quick German words, it's not gonna work. So yeah, it comes out on the German channel first in German, and then it comes out on this channel here. But we can already give you a glimpse, because people are requesting the, farming gold is always the thing you need, and people need gold for flask. And I always tell people, hey, it's absolutely possible to have like 1 Titan flask every raid, no problem. Like, oh, can't do it, I have a job. Yeah, I also have a job and a girlfriend and blah blah blah, and so I thought I could maybe share some tips. If that works for you is another thing, because for me personally, anything works that is fun for you to do. So if you're the guy that likes to grind, look, here's the first tip: go to Eastern Plaguelands and just kill the bats. The normal plague bats at the start of Eastern Plaguelands, not the poisonous ones, but the normal ones. They drop Evil Bat Eye. The grace that you get there, you can make, I don't know, if you fill up your whole inventory, you have at least like 40 gold or something an hour. That also works. It's just fucking boring, and they fear you all the time. But if that, if you're range DPS or whatever, and that works for you, go ahead and do that. I tried that. I did that for a while because I was very uncreative with farming gold, and so I actually did farm the very old school way of killing the plague bats, because the grays they drop a lot of them, are just, it's so many, and they just sell for so much gold at the vendor that it just was freaking worth. Very uncreative. You can do, there's better spots for sure, but if that's all I knew, and I don't know, I just put on a podcast or some music and did that for like 3 hours, and then I had my money. So here's the first tip. That's more of, I wouldn't recommend, but you can do this. It's actually pretty decent. So but only if you're a herbalist or a miner. Actually only herbalist. So if you're a herbalist, you go and go to Eastern Plaguelands, grind those bats, right? Normal plague bats. And on the way, you take every single herb you get. You don't leave Arthur's Tears. You pick every single Arthur's Tears up. You pick everything up. And then you grind the bats while doing that. That's a very... nobody was really doing it. That's a plus. So you always gotta factor in that some spot might be really good, but if there's 10 people trying to farm it, your gold is gonna be near close to 0, per hour. So also, a factor is also that you need to have little to no competition at your farming spot. That's why some of the spots that I have, you'd say, well, that doesn't really sound like a secret, but taking into account that usually servers are also crowded and you're not the only dudes playing on one server, these tips here make sure that you always have stuff on your own, or you have your own spots, or you don't have to share it with somebody. So tip number 1, that's just kind of like the PS tip, like the extra one on top, is farm the plague bats in Eastern Plaguelands. Empty your whole inventory, put on a podcast, do it for 2 hours, slay every single plague bat, and pick up every single herb or mining node you get. That's pretty decent, easy life. Very boring though, but it depends. If that floats your boat, there you go. Which leads me into the introduction of the real farming tips, and that would be, first, you know, we have a saying, and that is respect the copper. So if you don't respect the copper, and that is something that a lot of leveling guides will actually tell you, if you don't respect the copper, you're not gonna make money, right? You're gonna fall into the first trap that people or fall into, is like, okay, these are night crawlers. Now, look, if your inventory is completely full, you want to get rid of the freaking night crawlers, of course, or whatever is not worth a lot. But usually, if you're really out to grind, you should empty your inventory and go. So, if you don't respect selling night crawlers for a silver a piece, they can go sometimes up to 5-10 silver a piece. So if you just throw everything away and you don't respect the copper, you're not going to make money. Now, here we did some runs somewhere, I don't even know where, and I got a lot of tender wolf meat, right? And so like tender wolf meat, you'd say, okay, well, I can just sell this to the vendor real quick. And it's, some of you might know what it's for, but some of you might not know what it's for. And you'd say, okay, it's just meat. Especially if you're coming from Legion, you know, normal items are not worth that much. So I just put every single tender wolf meat I had like 19, for 8 silver each, and 20 copper into the auction house. Now, and before, by the way, if you just want to see, we went Stratholm before this, and I was at 76 gold. But just from selling greys and weapons, and just the basic stuff, went Strat live actually. I already made 4 to 80, 82, 90 is 10, so 14, 16, and 77. So 16 gold, 77 from one Strat live run, and I haven't even sold my orb yet, I haven't even sold Priest Tier 0 gloves yet, I haven't sold anything else yet. This is the first money that's coming in. So wolf meat, for some reason I had that. So 8 silver times 19 is already 80 silver, and then again, basically, so it's another gold 60. It's not much, right? It doesn't sound like much, but it's actually quite a bit. I harvested with dream foil, that's like 42.95 silver, and then I had 3 plague blooms I found. I missed the black lotus because I got mobs aggroed and got killed by an Ashkandi warrior, but you know, tough life. And so, like, we got the tender wolf meat. What did I say? We were just at 92, I think, right? So 92 gold. 77, and now we're at 97 gold, almost 77, so that was another 5 gold just from selling trash and small shit. That small shit does add up. So that is the first thing that you really wanna put focus on. See what you have and just try and make money out of every single bit, okay? Now I have shitty mana pots here, right? We can go to the auction house right now and have greater mana pot. Those, I usually spam the superior ones, and the greater ones, I don't know, I think they were in the Stratholm chest. We're gonna get into that in a little bit. So I could technically sell these for 7 silver each, but in that case I would say just keep it and you have some free mana pots. So you save money on not wasting a lot of consumables wherever you go, since I'm a healer. We found Uther's Strength, so that's 17 gold, easy money. Just gonna put that in, probably gonna sell. And then we go and check the auction house, check our inventory here for anything else we got. I want to try and get 4-set bonus of Devout Gloves, depending on if I'll need that or not. But that's not the point. So just in general, you know, try and respect the copper, and anything you find is valuable. If you find light feathers, you can sell them on the auction house for priests to levitate, I think. Or was it mages? I can't remember. Somebody needs them. And tender wolf meat is used for buff food, right? Even red wolf meat, 2 silver each. Somebody's using it to skill up cooking real quick. And people just gonna buy stuff off the auction house because they want the stuff quick. So you could sometimes even check if there's nothing in there. You know, you have some raptor flesh or raptor eggs. Raptor eggs, for example, some things sell to the vendor pretty high already. You just have to do a little bit of research and see. But if there's no raptor flesh on the auction house, you can try and sell it for 20 silver each. Somebody is gonna just wants it really quickly, he doesn't care, he has enough money, and you can transfer a lot of money to your little money pocket, basically. And then you sell the flesh for 20 silver each. And if you found 20 of it, you know, that's quite a bit of money. It's like 4 gold for free. Now, let's go into the top 5 list that I made for the other video, what I wrote down. Not in like huge detail, but just to give you a couple of spots so you know where to be. idea, Necrosh, you still here or did you fall asleep?
I am here.
Okay. So, spot number 1 would be the satyrs in Fellwood in the top north corner, right? And that's actually a really good spot, but the thing why I put it on number 5 or pretty low is because it's usually so overfarmed that you're not going to get a spot. It's also a AoE grinding spot for mages, and mages especially can just AoE grind there really easily if they're not doing it in a dungeon. And usually it's very crowded and there's a lot of PvP going on, so that always sucks. The good thing is, you basically just go in the very north of Fellwood and go check for a satyr area. Really easy to find. So they drop demonic runes. Demonic runes though aren't as good as dark runes, which we'll get into later, because they're bind or pickup, so they're soulbound as soon as you loot them. This is a good spot for anything casterish, right? So if you're a caster, that's a good spot because you can just use the runes on your own and they're gonna drop for you. And it's a pretty easy and simple spot, you just kill mobs and that's it. And if there's nobody there, you can just AoE pull and grind everything down. And the good thing about those are they drop Fellcloth, and the Fellcloth is used for a lot of bags, Warlock gear, Shadow Res gear, and of course for Mooncloth transmute. And we can check how much a Fellcloth goes for right now. I think they drop a little bit in price the further the server progresses, but let's check. Fellcloth. So right now, if one Fellcloth drops, you have like 3 gold save. Okay, it's not much, and usually they're worth a little bit more. Let's say they should go around like 5-6ish, right? But sometimes even at 3 gold, if you farm 10 of them, it's 30 gold. So that's place or spot number 1, north of Fellwood. Look for satyrs and the very north. Okay spot, demonic runes, Fellcloth, Grace cloth in general, but could be overcrowded, so not a really crazy one, but it's a pretty straightforward spot, so you can just go there. Then we have the elements in the Badlands, and this can be a really lucrative thing. And basically what we're talking about is the center, actually like northwest of the Badlands, and the center south of the Badlands. Or if you're really unlucky and everything's overcrowded, you can also go to the southwest. There's bigger ones if you're high level. Now the good thing, and what you want to look for, is lesser, normal, and greater rock elementals. And these rock elementals drop elemental earth. And elemental earth is used for repair bots, it's used for resto pots, and for greater nature pots. So all potions for people that usually spend a lot of gold on consumables and don't really mind the prices. And they always will buy them for each raid. You need resto pots and repair bots starting in Molten Core until Nax, okay? So that's always a good thing. It's a very constant one that you need for formats that are always going to be used from MC until Nax. That's a very safe income. Greater nature pots starting in AQ and then into Nax. So it's always really good because that's where usually people blow a lot of money. And if you want to check out elemental earth right now, one elemental earth goes for 4 gold 20 right now. And the thing is, these can actually go up in price pretty easily to, 5 to 6 gold each. So if you got one elemental earth dropping, right, or if you farm, I always say you can easily farm 10. If your goal is, I'm gonna farm 10 of like a certain thing, that's always easy to do and it won't take you forever, and you can easily, calculate it in your head. So 10 of elemental earth are gonna be 50 gold, basically, or 42 gold in this case. Easy money, and that's just one thing they drop. And these elementals actually drop a lot of stuff and a lot of grays. If you vendor all the grays, respect the copper, it really does add up if you grind there for 2 hours, even 1 hour. So gray stuff, elemental earth. Then we have the deep rock salt, right? And the deep rock salt is like a thing that usually is worth quite a bit because it just gets used so much. And look here, like a 20 stack is only 75 silver. It doesn't seem like much, but you get it anyway, right? So 8 silver for 2, so 4 silver per, and you know, you're probably gonna get 20 of them, so it's another gold on top. And you need, this can always go up in price, especially when the dirges are out. The dirges are the buff food, the 25 stamina buff food. Once that is out, that will should raise in price. To be fair, it's not the biggest thing about this spot, but it's there, and you can just keep selling it or keep it for your own, and then you always have some. On top of that, solid stone, right? Solid stone drops from them, and that's really good because, as you can see, solid stone goes, a 20 stack goes for 5 gold 50. And solid stone drops a lot from them, and it's used for goblin sapper charges. That's the AoE charge from goblin engineers, used by raiders for AoE stuff. And then you have the, it's used for basically every kind of bomb or a lot of stuff for engineering. So that drops there. 20 stack for 550, so 10 would be 250, 270, so 27 silver each stone around. So that's pretty good. And the cool thing is, if you're a low level player, you can use this spot, okay? To be fair, it's usually farmed, but sometimes you're lucky and you can just get the most out of it. And if you see there's 60s, you just continue leveling. But even as a low level, you can do this. And if you, I mean, look, if you farm 10 elemental earth, you get XP and you have easy money in 1 hour. If you get 10 elemental earth in 1 hour, is not even unlikely. Let's say 2 hours, and you have 42 gold for your mount. That's pretty good for a level while gaining XP. Downside is it's highly populated. Then we got on number 3 the strat live orbs or the strat UD part, and that's what I was talking about earlier. This is, for example, a spot where you aren't going to be contested. You can't be contested. You go into a dungeon and it's fresh. Now you'd say, okay, well, but like running dungeons, I don't know. But the thing about strat and strat UD is there's so many mob groups and so many mobs, and each mob can drop something. And on top of that, there's other stuff. So first of all, let's say strat UD. You have the chance on a barrel mount, okay? That's always cool. It's very unlikely because it has 0.1% drop rate, but it's there. The chance is there. That's just a little topping, right? And then the cool thing is there's the strat cases or the strat chests or the supply chests, and a lot of people just ignore these. And in these chests there can be a lot of gray weapons, and if you've ever rendered a high-level gray weapon, you know that, like for example, a gray staff out of that chest can vendor for like 1 gold 80. That can be in there, and it's usually in there. There's food and water in it, so you don't have to buy that. And that's the high level one that you have to usually buy for, I don't know how much Morning Glory you costs, but like I think 5 costs 20 silvers. I really don't know right. But you save that money. Then in there is Stratholme, Stratholme Holy Water, which you need for raiding. So you can get that for Nefarian or Nax or whatever, anything undead. And then you have the potions in here, right? So you either have these potions, Superior Mana Potion, which are pretty cool for raiding, you can spam them. Then you have these here, Superior Healing Potion in there. You could sell them too. They're not really worth that much, but you could sell them. Or you just keep them for your own use. If you're a healer, comes in real handy. And you have the Greater Mana Pot. So all of this stuff here I got from Strat UD. Not this stack, I don't think, but yeah, this. And that's not nothing, right? It will provide me with consumables, basic stuff that I can just keep spamming while raiding. Especially if you're a new player. You don't have to spend money on that, and this will do a lot and have a great effect. So there's potions in there, right? And all of these combined are already a lot of money. So we could probably see how much a Superior Healing Potion is. 5 stack, 130. I could get 1 gold 30 for this stack right now. Nightcrawlers, right? Nightcrawlers right now they're only 1 silver per, but if you have a 20 stack, it's 20 silver. But the thing is, sometimes, especially at the start of servers, there's not as many around, and especially when you can't zerg stuff, people that fish need these to make big bait, basically. They put on their fishing pole and then they fish with it. And to do that, you need a Nightcrawler as a material. So they can actually go up in to 8, 7, 10 silver per, and then your 20 stack all of a sudden is worth 2 gold, right? So take them, put them in the auction house, doesn't matter. Back to copper. Essence of Undeath, I got one right here. You can either sell it for a gold 19 right now, or if you're an alchemist, for example, I can do that right now. Alchemy, boom. And we'll go here, transmute Undeath to water, right? We're just gonna do this real quick. Undeath to water, because Essence of Water is worth 5 gold. So each Essence of Undeath is basically an Essence of Water for you if you're an alchemist. You know, and or you just sell it like that if you're not an alchemist, but still quick money. And you could do this transmute much more often than Arcanate bars, because this only has a 24-hour cooldown, and I think the Arcanate bar has 48. So, you know, the profit here is 4 gold, and then I can do 4 gold every day. And with Arcanate bar, I only earn at the moment like 3 gold 60 per 24 hours. So we have the Essence of Water now. We can put that in. Right, there you go. 5 gold, and then hope it sells. Bam. So that drops there. And then on top of that, of course, a lot of greens drop, and blues drop, and weapons drop, which you can all send to your alt. Make an alt with enchanting, and everyone can enchant everything. Send it over there. He disenchants it. And you can have the enchanting mats. And look, if you get lucky and you have, for example, Greater Eternal Essence, you could say, oh, okay, I got a blue chest and I de-eat it and I got 2 Eternal Essences out of it. Let's say 1. 3 gold 88 easy money, or you get 2 out of it, so you have 7 gold 80 or something. You know, or you just save the mats and you would never have to spend money on enchanting mats. That's what I do usually. So greens, etc. You can get your biz items while grinding money, right? So if you still need the Baron Cloak, go ahead and get your biz items on the way. You can get items for really hard bosses. For example, for next Ramus, the Veil of the Banshee. It reduces the chance to hit by 10% of the for the target. So Patchwork, when he goes in rage and he has 10% less hit chance, pretty good. These are pretty broken also for Satoon. You can get your nature resistance gear, and you can get Scourge Stones, which you can turn in for reputation for Argent Dawn, which you will need for next Ramus. And that was just Strat UD, okay? And if you do Strat UD, and then after that you say with your group, hey, let's go over to Strat Live, it's while we're here. You go into Strat Live, and then what drops there is Righteous Orb. And you can see here, Righteous Orb I have in the auction house right now for 30 gold. And usually what you do is you say round robin, first Righteous Orb drops in the living part, and then everybody rolls neat. If you get one, you pass on the next. And so everybody gets 1 orb, and then that's 30 gold. We had up to 8, actually 9 orbs drop in one run. Sometimes you just gotta be lucky. Usually you get around like 4 to 5. But if you get 9, everybody had almost 2 orbs. That was 60 gold. So the safest bet is Strat Live, Strat UD, but it's also a lot of fun. And that's what I was saying with dungeons, right? For me, dungeons is cool, or if you're a healer or tank, you don't really have the options that other DPS have. So doing this is a lot of fun. You can help guildies get their gear. All of these things are just listed, and you make money along the way, really, really easily. And yeah, as a tank, you can also, in the worst case, you just say, hey, I'll tank the dungeon for 15 gold if you like. But I can roll on stuff, of course, just normal guy. My tank service costs 10 gold, 15 gold, 5 gold, I don't know. And people are gonna be willing to farm that, so you can make another 5 gold on top if you're healer or tank, whatever. Hey, I'll heal it for 10 gold. Everybody, chips in 2 gold 50, and they got a healer, which they would otherwise maybe look for an hour or so. Just saying, if you're really greedy fuck, you can do that. Strat Live can also drop the recipe for Flask of Distilled Wisdom. Flask of Distilled Wisdom. So we want to have the recipe for it. So we're gonna search. There's none in the auction house right now. I think usually it goes for like 250 to 300 gold. It drops from the end boss, so pretty straightforward. So you can actually get rich, or you just split the money with everyone who was in the group. That's usually more fair. And you can get the what is in English? The Tome of Conjure Food, right, for mages. in the early stages of the server. There it was. It's 180 gold. So if that drops, you have another 180 gold. So Strat Life is pretty much the best, and then you can put an UD on top if you get bored. Yeah, and that's basically Strat Life or UD on number 3. And right after that I put Scholomance, because I feel like, you know, Scholomance, if you have a... Now, here's the thing. Scholomance is really good if the Dark Rune price is good. Because, especially if you're a healer, usually what people do is they have a group and they say Dark Runes are reserved for the healers, right? So if you're a healer, you can go in there and say, hey, I need the Dark Runes, right? And then you're gonna take the Dark Runes because nobody else really needs them. They should go to a healer prio, because it's basically a second mana potion you can spam. And if the Dark Rune price is good, they go up to, you can see it right here, 8 gold 80 for 1 Dark Rune. And you can easily get like 5 to 10 out of a run. Even if there's another guy with you, you can easily get 4 to 5. And if you get 10 runes out of this and you're the single healer with a 5-man group, and even if you just split the Dark Runes fairly with your group, which is better, you know, you go in there with a guild group and you say, we just all roll, we just round robin on the Dark Runes or whatever. However you want to do it. If 10 drop, that's 88 gold, credit or nothing. That's the first point, right? It's even safer because they usually drop more than Righteous Orbs, but it's about the same. The thing is, you can clear this stuff rather quick, and there's a lot of other stuff to be had here when you have a good group doing this. If you have a not so good group, I'd rather suggest you go Strat Life or Strat UD first. Depends a little bit on the gear and how much knowledge people have. On top of that, a lot of greens again, a lot of blues, a lot of weapons, a lot of vendor trash, a lot of stuff to DE. You can get Skin of Shadows for your enchants, so people will need that constantly, so there will always be groups running. You get a lot of cloth, you get a lot of grace, I said it already, you get Nightcrawlers, sometimes you get Scourge Stones for Argent Dawn rep, for next Rammus again to have a cheaper attunement. You get the Bis items for guildies and yourself. You again get Essence of Undeath, which can be made into an Essence of Water or just be sold. And here's the cool thing, Lifesteal Enchant, right? So in the first room, after you entered and you went down the first stairs, you can see Spectral Teachers. And these Spectral Teachers, or Spectral Researchers, it is. Let's check for Lifesteal. Lifestealing? Nothing in the auction house, I think. Enchant. Enchant weapon. That should do the trick. So it's not even, there's not even one on the auction house. So if you get this, only the ones in the first room, the Spectral Researchers, they can drop the Lifestealing enchant recipe. The Lifestealing enchant recipe can sell up to I don't know, I'd say 400 gold. Depends on the server, up to 400 gold. If it's early, later at least 100, 150. And Essence of Water already sold, right? So yeah, there's not even one on the auction house right now. So yeah, there you go. So that can drop. Another flask recipe can drop. Supreme Power recipe, and this is one of the most used flask recipe. Not only can you then make the flask for your guild or to make profit, you can, in the worst case, can sell this or just split it with the group again. So right now they go for 400. I know at the start of servers they can actually go for 800, 700, up to K per. That drops from Ras Frostwisp by the Lich. And then we have a lot of epic items from the end boss, which is always a fun thing. Headmaster's Charge, etc. And again, this is good for healers, tanks, but also DPS. And you, just like in Strat UD, you get Dungeon Set 1 parts, which you can also sell on the auction house. For example, the Warrior Tier 0 or Dungeon Set stuff usually goes for a little bit. If you type in Valor, you can see. Belt of Valor is 12 gold, Braces of Valor, and the Gloves of Valor usually go for 20 gold because they usually never dropped from Strat UD as well. Or you can say the Light Forge. Okay, I'm a Horde side, so elements maybe. I don't know. Yeah, 15 gold for bracers of elements, pretty good stuff. Anyway, these tier 0 parts come on top. And that would be Scholomance. So if you have a really good group, go Scholomance. If you have a mediocre group, or you just like living better, go there. And here you see the Essence of Water, 475 easy money on top. So now we just while doing this video, we recruit. We already went from 92 gold to 102. So 10 gold earned here from selling small shit. Now it really depends. Strat UD, Scholomance, Strat Living, all is good. If you're don't have such good gear, do Strat UD, then go up to Living. And if you have a really cool group that just functions and is just working well together, then do Scholomance and grind those dark runes if the price is good. Sometimes the price of Righteous Orb is better, then you do Living. And then there's tip number 1, and that would be the Winterfall Gold Farm. And I have this on 1 because now this is not a dungeon anymore, so this can actually be contested. But the thing is, not so much. You can't, at least if there's 1 or 2 people, it's not contested. Because the cool thing about this, you can do it in a raid and everybody profits. First you need to do the quest Luck Be With You and get the Catch of Mawari. So type that into some sort of database, Luck Be With You, and that's the quest you need to do first. After that, you can loot echoes from every creature in Winterspring. They do different things. Okay, so you can turn in 3 echoes for a certain juju at the same guy you took the quest, and different echoes give you different stuff. What we want to aim for is the echoes that drop off the Winterfall Furbolgs just east of Everlook. So you go there and you grind those echoes, and the cool thing is now, if you're in a 10-man raid group, you can just invite everybody of your faction that's grinding there. Even levelers, if you like. And there's 1 echo dropping. It doesn't mean that one of these 10 people gets the echo, everybody gets an echo. So 10 echoes are generated when 1 drops. Now the cool thing about this is they really drop pretty frequently, and we can check right now. The echoes go for... Was it spelled? I think like this. Echo. Right, and these go for quite a little bit of money, and so what we want to aim for is the Winterfall Echo. Those are the ones. Let's let it scan real quick. And there we go. Winterfall Echo. 20 sell for 40 gold on Horde side right now. I mean, that's crazy. Usually it's like 25 to 30 gold. But I mean, 40 gold for 20 of those Winterfall. That's getting 20 is like... Depends on your luck, but like 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, but usually you have around 40 after an hour. So right now I would go and do this if I really want money. Just grind the Winterfall Echoes, sell them, so that other DPS can go and trade them in for Juju Strength, which is 30 strength buff for raiding. And again, you want to get the stuff that people need for raiding because they spam consumables. Because for some reason people just spam consumables even starting in MC. But yeah, that's their thing. So you get these Winterfall Echoes, and you always have to sell the echoes, because once you turn them in for Jujus, they're soulbound. You can't do it anymore, but these you can sell. So this is the main source of income at that spot. So that's really pretty much recommended, because you can also get a guild group together. Again, healer, tanks, DPS, it doesn't matter, and you can do that together. If you're a really kind person, you can trade over your echoes to your DPS if you really want to push the progress. But in this case, I would definitely sell my echoes. 20 for 40 gold is just mad. It's like an hour of grind, not even. It's like probably 45 minutes. So you can add another 10 gold on top of that, so 50 gold per hour just from the echoes. And then you have Cloth, and then you have Winterfall Firewater drops there as well. And Winterfall Firewater is usually something that you can either keep to pop in raids, but I always sold it because, I don't know, 35 attack power I played. When I was playing DPS, I was a red pelly, and like 35 attack power, I don't really care. I don't think it's all that much for the amount of money you spend. So only 20 minutes. So I always used to sell them. If you get 10, you can easily get 10 Winterfall Firewater, and if you sell those, you have another 30 gold. and it's not unlikely that you will have 10. Let's say 5. Let's be conservative and say 5. They have 15 gold. It's almost 6 gold actually. 4 gold actually. Let's say in general 3 gold. So you have another 15 gold on top with the echoes, where we said like 50 gold, 40 gold. It's conservative, say 40 gold. They have already 55 gold saved per hour. Then on top of that you get big potions. So like mage, you can either keep them or sell them. Major health. Or healing, I think it's called, right? Healing potion. And there you got the 5 stack selling for 230, so we're at 57.30 at the moment. Then you get some mana pots. If you get 1 stack of healing potions, more likely. Major mana potion. Let's see how much that goes for. 5 for 6 gold 70, so we're at around, what did we just say, 57 something, so 65. And then you have a lot of, you know, greens, grays, etc. There's a lot of mining nodes and herbs where you on the route where you circle, and you can again do it as a healer in a group, as a guild activity. Invite anybody there. If there's horde there or alliance there, you can build a group, wipe them off the earth, and take the spot for yourself. So it's also a really cool PvP kind of open world PvP activity. Really cool. For some people just like that more than grind a dungeon and make mad bucks. So, you know, even if the prices are really shit, you're at least making 57 to 65 gold per hour. And that's a pretty good, really pretty good value right here. Then there's also DME runs, but we can make a video on that as well later, because this has been really, really long. But this was basically all of the things I use to make money, usually. If I'm really uncreative. You know, just pressed into one MTA right now. That was requested. I hope this helps. Try it out. Try what works best for you. So either Fellwood North, either the plague beds with herb grinding in the Eastern Plaguelands. Very straightforward and boring, but some people like it. Not recommended if you're melee, because they keep fearing. Keep that in mind. Very annoying. Or number 5, Fellcloth and Demonic Runes in Northern Fellwood, or Elementals in Badlands if you're low level, especially recommended. Otherwise, if you're 60 and it's not overfarmed, then Strat Life or UD. Strat Life a little bit better than UD. And then we have Scholomance, really good if the Dark Rune price is crazy. And you still need bis items and you want to do it in dungeon and you hate open world stuff. And if you like open world PvP, or you just have a big raid that wants to do it once in a while, you go and do 3 hours, 2 hours a week in Winterfall Hold and farm those echoes and just make big bank and mad bucks. I hope that helped you guys. If it did, leave a like, maybe a sub, whatever, you know the drill. And that has been your daily dose of WoW for today. Nekrish, you still here or did you die?
I am still there, just listening.
Alright, there you go. If Nekrish didn't die of boredom, then I hope you didn't. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.